Count Corla. I think any young person who might be unfortunate enough to be watching this spectacle on a flat-screen TV or a black and white portable might be somewhat shocked to see the leader of the country before us failing to answer any of the questions put to him. You talk about a €500 million investment in jobs and gloss over the fact that that is an equal sum to the amount you're slashing from the public sector wage bill. And, you know, I must admit, Tánaiste, that over the last while you've come in for a lot of stick about how much you've changed since you went into government. And I think that's really quite unfair, because I'd say you've actually been very true to form. I mean, we were told a number of years ago by WikiLeaks about exactly the type of operator that you are, when you publicly stated that you wouldn't stand for a rerun of the Lisbon Treaty and then told them that was just political necessity. Behind the scenes, you did something else. And I'd have to say that your skill for saying one thing and delivering the opposite has been honed into a fine art and replicated by the rest of your team in government. You talk up the fact that you've given GP cards to under fives, but gloss over the fact that you've taken 3 times that amount off the medical card budget. You boast about 14 million in a youth guarantee and say nothing about the 32 million you're axing from social welfare payments to young people. You announced yesterday a pyrite scheme as if it was a great leap forward of €10 million when you announced the same scheme this time last year, but it was €50 million as a first step in dealing with the tens of thousands of houses in that category. And Minister Howlin has the neck to tell us here on Tuesday that past budgets under your term have been progressive. He tells us that nobody is ideologically attached to austerity. Well, if you're not ideologically attached to austerity, what is it then? A coincidence? Because in actual fact, you've taken more money out of this economy than even was demanded by the Troika. So it is an ideological question. It's politically treachery, but it is also not even original. My question to you is, did you get your idea from David Cameron and the Tories? Because David Cameron announced his plan for young people a couple of weeks ago, where he wants to, for under 25-year-olds, remove them from job seekers and from housing benefit, that they should be earning or learning. That's your rhetoric. Now, Tánaiste, my questions to you are as follows. Your government have stood over a revolution in social policy, overturning the benefits fought for by the trade union movement. That trade union movement yesterday challenged you to produce the figures and the research that backs up the waffle you've been given this chamber this morning, to show the research which says that cutting young people's benefits will create jobs and will not lead to poverty.
I am true to form, Deputy Daly, and I'm here in this House quite a long time. I make no apology for engaging with any member of this House, as I have done over the years, in robust debate, but I have never stooped to making an attack on anybody's character, Deputy Daly, and please don't invite me to reciprocate.
Thank you. Can we hear an answer, please? Thank you.
You asked me where we got the idea in relation to our approach to youth unemployment. We have developed over a period of time the idea of a youth guarantee. The level of youth unemployment in this country and in a number of other European countries is too high, and we want to get it down. And you get it down by creating employment, you get it down by providing work experience opportunities, and you get it down by providing the education and training that equips young people to get into employment. We reached agreement under the chairmanship of my colleague Joan Burton at the European Social Affairs Council last February on a youth guarantee. In the course of the negotiation of the European budget last summer, we reached agreement on the provision of initially €6 billion, it ended up being about €8 billion in funding for that initiative. We front-loaded that initiative to 2014 and 2015, and in this budget we are making provision here for the matching funding for that youth guarantee so that we can provide employment opportunities for young people. The approach that we are taking in the budget, is first of all providing additional funding for measures that will increase and accelerate, we hope, the rate of job creation in the country, which will provide employment opportunities for young people. Secondly, to ensure that there is sufficient funding for the education and training sector so that there will be opportunities for young people to get education and training to equip them for the jobs of today and the jobs of the future, and by providing additional funding so that the Youth Guarantee programme can proceed. Our objective is to ensure that the young people of this country get the opportunity of work, which is what they need, and that they are equipped with the education and training which will provide them with the skills to take up those employment opportunities. And for the life of me, I cannot see why you are against that approach.
Thank you. Deputy Daly.
Taoiseach, the only guarantee for young people is if there's a job at the end of it. And by you not answering the question and demonstrating that you've done no research on this, well, I use your answer against you. You talk about additional funding. In your answer to Deputy MacDonald, you lauded the fact that you were recruiting, for example, extra Gardaí. And you are. But you gloss over the fact that your changes to the pension scheme is going to result in about 1,000 Gardaí walking out of their jobs. So the net result will, in actual fact, not be any extra job creation. You're taking 500 million out of the public sector wage bill, the same figure that you're miraculously using to invest in jobs. So when you do the sums, in actual fact, and it's not just me saying it, because other people have done research, people who gave you a livelihood when you didn't work in here, in the trade union movement, and people whose subscriptions actually helped to get you elected in here. And what they said was, yesterday, the Irish Congress of Trade Unions, that your policies, which they have researched, will result in the loss of 30,000 jobs. That's your budget. Your colleague and party member, Michael Taft, has said that the allowances and the incentives that you brought in rely on the private market, and there's no guarantee that the targets will be met, or that the activity wouldn't have happened in any way. So what I want you to answer to the young people who might be listening to this is, where is your actual jobs for them? Because the only conclusion that they can draw is that they're going to be poorer and they're going to be driven out of this country as a result of your policies.